I do think that in some ways the toughest question is, why is there evil? And I think that we do ourselves an injustice in not allowing ourselves to ask that question in an abstract way as well as a concrete way. In other words, it's not just enough for us, although all of us will have this question from time to time, why is this happening to me? What have I done to deserve this? That's a completely legitimate and honorable question, and it's one that everyone is going to have to inhabit at one point or another, probably all of us repeatedly. Behind that question, or maybe alongside it, is this more abstract theoretical question of why do we live in a world where these sorts of things happen? And I can remember having brought my father home from the hospital after what was the first of a series of heart problems that would end up killing him. And I can remember sitting with him on the sofa. And he had been a very strong and brave man throughout much of his life, although I don't think he knew that. And he said at one point in that conversation, I just wish I understood why all these things had happened to me. And I can vividly remember where we were on the sofa, our positions, what time of evening it was. And I knew at that moment that letting my father ask that question in my head would be a part of my life from that moment forward. And so when I wrote my first book, when I did my dissertation, that became my first book, I dedicated it to my father, but it was about this question of evil. And the epigraph to the book is a line from the beginning of Plato's Republic, in which one character is saying to another, and neither of them are Socrates, they're these two figures, but they're starting the argument that will begin the whole Republic. And one of them says to the other, I'm getting tired, I have to go do these rituals, I'll hand over the argument to you. And the word for hand over there is a version of paradosis, which means tradition in Greek. The handing over is giving you the tradition. And the other character, who is the son, says to the father, am I to be your inheritor in everything? And it makes me think both about the Republic. The Republic really is a dialogue of fathers and sons. But it also makes me think that sometimes in our own lives, we are continuing the arguments and conversations that our parents had. And I think that's true about me with my parents.